Hey y'all, I'm Tiana for those of you that don't know me. I run the closet C'est La Vie on Posh with my husband Thomas. We have been selling on Posh for about 2 years now. We had no experience with reselling or even retail before this, and we've kind of learned our own way, taught ourselves what works for us and what doesn't. So we basically just want to share what we've learned with you, and if it helps you and you can use the information that we're giving you, then great. Not everything works the same for every closet, so if it doesn't work for you, I'm very sorry. There's someone out there that can give you something that will help. So basically, we're just getting started. For those of you who came to our Posh list last night, we appreciate you so very much. We can't thank you enough for all the support and help that you've given us along this wild journey. So for today, for our first video, we actually want to talk about the Posh sales report, which I know a lot of people have gone into, but I think it's really important that as sellers, we're taking this and using this to our full advantage. The reason I'm saying this is because a lot of people blow this off, and I've seen this in Facebook groups and on different threads, that people don't really care to look into it, but this is such a useful tool that I really just want to share with you what I use off of there in order to help me to better improve my closet, my sales, and what I'm making. So now's the perfect time to start talking about this because we're starting a new month. It's fresh. We're starting May right now. April's in the past, but we can learn from that. So I am going to talk and focus today on just April 2021. So there's a couple different things in here that I want to cover, but they're all related in the way that they're going to help you to enhance your business, and you can take this information that you're going to learn from your sales report and apply it to your closet. Okay, so let's start out with talking about how to access this in case anyone has never looked at their sales report. On the desktop version, it is going to be under your order activity log. So to get there, you can either click on your profile picture at the top right corner and go down to my sales or my purchases, and it will bring you to this menu, and the second to last one is going to show you my sales report. I like to analyze my statistics at the end of each month and then overall at the end of the year. I am thinking about starting doing it quarterly as well, but I don't know right now. It's a little time consuming, but it's worth it. So for you guys, if you would like to download your sales report and go ahead and follow along, you can click into your custom range, put it as the month of April, it'll send you an email report, and it will open in Excel. So if you go ahead with that, I am going to talk about mine, and you can follow along and track yours. So once you download that, and you open your Excel file, you're going to get a huge Excel chart full of lots of different numbers that looks totally overwhelming, but if we break it down step by step, it really is manageable and it really is helpful. The first thing that I want to talk about today is what we can take out of that. And that we're going to start off with is offers. So the latest trend that I'm seeing on Poshmark is that a lot of sellers are now putting up listings in their closets that say, I do not make offers. I don't send offers to likers. If you want the item, you send it to me. And the first time I saw that, I was a little taken back because in my experience, I've always sent offers, and regardless of how many people accepted those offers or declined those offers, I never took it personally, and I continued to send them. I felt it was helpful for my business, but we want to look at actually how helpful it is. So for this month, I actually pulled the statistics. If you know my closet at all, I tend to price on the higher side to make room for offers. Buyers on Poshmark tend to like to think that they're getting a really good deal. So in my opinion, I always recommend pricing high, giving yourself a good amount of a buffer in order to negotiate and help your buyer to feel satisfied that they purchased for a price that they're happy with. I always price high, and I don't see a lot of full price purchases, unlike some of you out there. So for the month of April, I went through my statistics and I had 118 sales. Now, of those 118 sales, only 11 were full price sales. So that's to be expected with my closet. I really don't get full price sales very often. The ones that I do are generally guest buyers that found our items through Google or whatever search engine that they're using. If you're not sure what I'm talking about with a guest buyer, if you go ahead and listen to our other video, which is already updated from the Posh list last night, we do go into it and talk about how you can tell if it was a guest buyer purchase or if it was a buyer that's already registered on Poshmark. So we had 11 full price sales, and I went a little bit further into it and I decided to look into, well, did any of those come from CCO as a result of me dropping the price? And it turns out that 3 of those 11 sales came from CCO, and the rest of them, the other 8, they were just full price outright purchases. So CCO has never been my strong suit. I don't tend to sell a lot of things through CCO. I don't know if it's my timing. I don't know if it's that 6-hour window that you just have to have perfect, but that's just never been a method that I've really used. I stopped using it a long time ago. I've started again recently, but I'm still not seeing too much activity and sales coming through that way. My main thing that I do is I send out offers to likers. It's my practice that I send them out 5 minutes after a like, or as soon as I see it, of course. And that's kind of how I've always run my business. That shipping discount does tend to look good for many buyers, especially on those lower price items. And now that Posh gives you the option of either using the $5.95 or the $4.99 discounted shipping, I think it's a great tool, and a lot of sellers don't take it to their full advantage. So I looked at all of my stats here, and if you can see on the screen, we had 107 sales that came through offers. And when you broke those down into buyer offers, bundle offers, and offers to likers, 30 of those, so a little over 25%, came from offers to likers. Yeah, that's not a lot of sales. In the end, there's 75% coming from other methods, but those 30 sales matter. They brought in a good profit for us. And so I want to encourage you, if you're someone that is not for offers to likers, you don't send them, I want to encourage you to try that out. I know it looks like you're sending so many offers and none of them are getting accepted, but that's 30 sales for 1 month, and that builds up, and that really does make a difference in the end. Okay, so now that we've covered offers, the next thing I want to move into is relisting. There's a lot of information on that sales report. I'm only pulling out 3 different things for today. We can talk about the other things that you can get from the report another time, but I don't want to make this too long, and I know that you don't want to sit here for that long listening to me. So we're going to talk about the dates that they provide us. So if you look at your sales report, on the left-hand side, there's going to be the listing date and the sold date. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that listing date and I'm going to look at when the items that were sold this month were listed. And what that's going to tell us is, well, is relisting worth it? Are we seeing an increase in sales on the items that we just relisted? So Posh's time that they give us on the copy feature is 60 days. Every 60 days you can relist that and it will show up under just in. There are other ways, I know, to relist, but we're going to stick with Posh's for now. So we're going to start out, and I'm going to break my 118 sales from last month down into categories. So out of 118 sales, we had 91 sales that were of items that were listed within the last 60 days. That's 77%. And right there, that's an overwhelming number. We can see that there's really a push towards, or a focus rather, towards just listed new, fresh items on Posh. And I think all of us have already kind of had that feeling. And we kind of knew that. That's why we started to relist. Here is the evidence to support that. So then I went and I broke it down a little bit further, as you can see, and I turned the last 60 days into this month, so the last 30 days from April 1st to April 30th, and then those items that sold that were listed from 31 to 60 days. And here it shows us even more evidence that just list or relisting and just-in items really do have a preferential pull on Posh. So when we break that category, we have 91 sales of items listed in the last 60 days, and of those 91, 65 of those were listed in the last 30 days. So it's overwhelming. We have 55% of all of my sales that I sold, 118 on Posh in April 2021, coming from items that I listed in the last 30 days. That should show you that those other items that are sitting, you want to relist them because we're getting fresh eyes, and you might have new buyers out there that are sorting just in and searching and might see your item now that you're relisting it and it's getting more attention. So if I can stress one thing here, it's that relisting really is worth it. You're not wasting your time. If you go back and look at our Posh and List video from yesterday, we talk about ways to improve your description and your cover shots. That's going to make it even better. So honestly, if you're one of those people that say, okay, well, it's listed, I'm just going to let it sit, maybe rethink that practice. Take this evidence, look at yours, see how yours is going. Are you making more sales of the items that you're just listing? I mean, there's more factors that we do have to consider. What kind of items are we listing right now? What kind of items were we listing before? But the general idea is that Posh is really putting preference on new items, just in, just listed. So the last thing that I want to talk about today is what sold. So using the data that we found on our sales report, we can see what categories and subcategories that we're selling the most of on Posh. For today's video, I'm just going to do a very quick overview, so I'm not going to touch the subcategories at all. Next month, if I can get a few more people, we can look at, say, 5 sellers data, then we'll get a better idea of what we're selling on Posh, what buyers are looking for. But for now, I'm just going to give you just a very basic overview. You can apply this to yours to see what's selling well in your closet, because of course I carry different things than you do. I might have more of these options, and that's why buyers are leaning towards those items, and that's why mine looks different. So you do have to check out yours, and then when we can compare more data across multiple sellers, then we'll really get an idea of what is actually selling on Posh right now. What are buyers searching? So on the screen, you can see my breakdown. I made a little colorful pie chart here. And you can see that there are a few really large categories that are standing out. So the first thing that I want to mention is that I broke this down into women's subcategories, but I did not do the same for men's and kids, only because in my closet specifically, I don't sell a lot of men's or a lot of kids, so that is going to take and make it a little bit unbalanced, because you might see a heavier or a bigger block of kids items when in reality it's because that's all of the kids subcategories, and if we were to break it down individually, they would be much, much smaller. So when we broke this down, of the 118 sales, 98 of those sales were women's items. 0 were home. Kids took up 17, and men's was 3. So in my closet, I carry mostly women's items. Of course, that's going to be the largest number that we're seeing there. So when we look specifically at women's, we're going to see that in my closet, we're selling a lot of tops, swim, and dresses, and pants. Tops is the number one overall. We had 25 tops sell during the month of April. followed closely behind by swim, which was 19. We're starting to see swim pick up because swim is my favorite to sell, and I guess you could probably understand that since I live in South Florida and it's pretty much summer all year round. It takes up quite a lot of items in my closet. I think the last time we counted, it was either over 150 or over 200 items, swim items for sale. It's been gradually increasing since about the end of December. That's when we started seeing swim sales again. They do drop off usually from the mid to end of October until around the holiday time in December. So they're slowly creeping up, and we're going to start to see way more swim sales than we were, and I'm so excited for that. Now, the other thing that I want to look at is that dresses are coming back. So we're seeing this shift in buyers looking for more spring and summer items, warm weather, vacation, travel. That should be kind of what you're gearing towards right now. Now, I'm not saying don't list items out of season, so still list your sweaters, your jackets, and all of that, because there could be a buyer looking for that, or they could see it and think it's a great deal and buy that now. So don't hold off on that, but put your preference and the things that you want to get right up as your summer items. It's just giving us an idea of what is doing well in my closet, and you can take the same thing, apply it to yours, and see, well, what am I selling? Okay, so that is everything that I had planned for today. We would really appreciate it if you would hit that subscribe button so then you are notified every time we post a video. We've had so much fun with you. Thank you so much for all your support. I can't thank you guys enough. And I will talk to you in a few days. I'm going to try and get another video up by the end of the week. No promises because it's a little bit busy, but I'll do my best, the best that I can in posting these videos as often as possible.